Okay, so let's go into your reading. First of all, you're the jack of all trades. So I feel like a lot of you might have, multiple sources of income. Okay, like a main job and a side job. This is the month where if you have a main job and a side gig, your side gig is paying the bills. Your side gig is tremendously very, very prosperous. And this is a card about self-employment. If you work from home, if you are self-employed, if you're juggling, a main job and a side gig, I feel like this is the month where prosperity will be coming in for you when it comes to self-employment, when it comes to side gigs. And then I feel like this is also the energy. This usually indicates to me like a regular 9 to 5, something that we go to work in the morning and then we come home at night. You might realize that it's not making the cut. You might be very worried that you're not able to pay all of your bills. But not to worry, because I feel like this situation, we're jumping from a 5 to a 9. So financially, you're definitely well taken care of. But I feel a lot of you are very anxious, like, but what's next? What's the next step? Where do I need to be? How can I achieve financial abundance? So I'm sensing many of you are business owners. Many of you are business owners, self-employed business owners. You might even have people working under your payroll. You have people like soldiers that you man, people that you send out to do odd jobs for, or people that are working under you, under your care, under your employment. And you're really worried, like, are we going to be prosperous enough where I can pay them? And if you're thinking about that, the good news is you're going to have a lot of prosperity coming into your business this month. So if you've been struggling in the past, I feel like this is a really, really good month for things to turn around, where you're making enough money for yourself. You're making enough money to invest, and you're also not going to have to worry about how you're going to pay the people that are working for you. So let those things fall to the wayside, okay? Because I feel like these fears, they're going to be alleviating by the end of this month, okay? So I'm sensing towards the end of the month, there will be a lot more jobs coming in. There will be a lot more financial abundance, so don't worry about it too much. I'm also feeling as well, so that's the first thing, the first 2 cards that jumped out at me. The second thing coming into the picture, if you have people working under you, there will be a few people who are just like, I gotta leave, my parents are old, so I need to take care of them. So people are going to be leaving as well. And, if people leave, that might also alleviate the burden for you. But I feel like some people are going to be separating from this work situation, and they're going to be shifting gears and trying to, take care of elderly parents, or they're going to be shifting gears and looking for work elsewhere. I'm also feeling as well, some of you might be leaving a main job in order to pursue a talent, to pursue a side gig. But either way, a lot of prosperity coming in. The Hangman coming out early in the spread with the Hermit in the reverse. Both of these cards indicate to me as well, the period of waiting is over, okay? I'm sensing for many of you, it's almost like whatever has been bogged down, whatever has been like, has really made you question, has made you question. It's almost like, can I trust this person? Are they going to be a big burden for me, or are they going to help me achieve prosperity? I feel like you're coming into answers for the next 3 weeks. You're going to realize, well, are they going to be on the same boat as you, or are they going to be supportive of you? I feel like they're removing themselves from the equation so that you don't have to question anymore. And then I'm also sensing as well, for a lot of you, you're going to be feeling very anxious about having to wait on decisions of other people. And so you don't want to be put in that situation where you're waiting or you're speculating. So I do feel like you're going to try to stay ahead of the energy, and you're going to go out and explore and do all of the preliminary research that is necessary for you in order to get yourself to a space where you are a lot more financially stable. So I feel like exploring options no longer waiting for opportunities to come in, but like staying ahead of the energy, reaching out, communicating with people so that you can have leads, so that you can have work, so that you can have, projects that you can undertake. Okay. So I mentioned the last few months, I feel that there were a lot of contracts, a lot of people soliciting you to get involved with you, to promote you, to, kind of like ride your coattails. This is the month where you have a lot of prosperity. There might be that element, people coming in very empty-handed and they want you to help them. And you can choose whether or not you want to share this prosperity. Just make sure that the people have the right intentions, okay? And I'm sensing that it's going to be, they're saying like a full house here where a lot of people are coming in with a lot of ideas. So you're going to be doing, the meet and greet, and you're also going to be doing this individual meetings with other people to see if their plans, their ideas, their projects, their collaborations are going to be viable for you. But the point of this is you're in a very good position, and other people are coming to you with all of these ideas, or at least if they have been coming to you within the past 2 months, this is the month where you sift through all of the proposals and you're trying to choose the right ones that will bring you this prosperity. So going back to that idea about intellectual property theft, because I feel like this is where you have to really safeguard, okay? It's like telling somebody that you trust a very, very solid financially lucrative idea, and then have that information kind of like ripped out from under you. And you're going to have to, cut ties with a few people here. So if you've been wondering, why would that person do that to me, or what possessed them to do it? Well, I think it's just greed. I think they were in a space where they were lacking in righteousness, lacking in that sense of right and wrong. And I feel like you had to cut them out, mainly because you confided in them, you trusted them. And this is the month where, it becomes apparent that they did not have your best interests at heart. Okay. So I feel like a lot of endings here for people that might have stolen ideas from you, or taken you for granted, or, really try to exploit you. And overall, that's not a negative thing, because I feel like it doesn't really detract from anything you're doing. So it had to happen in the timing that it did, so that before the completion stage, so that you can remove them from your circle or remove them from your project, so that it doesn't affect the final crucial stages of the work that you're trying to do. Okay. In the home front, I do feel there's a little bit of turbulence here. This is you operating in a very stern, steadfast manner when you're dealing with people. I mentioned children earlier. So if you're in a household and you have children of your own, or you're living with children, or you're interacting with children in a work capacity or in whatever capacity, this is you needing to, create a lot of structure. This is you setting boundaries, and this is you as well being very firm, being a stickler for rules, being really, really rigid when it comes to sleep time, nap time, meal times, and things like that. So I feel like a lot of you might have a self-employed business where you run like a childcare facility, a doggy daycare, even like an old, what are those, like a senior daycare center, where you're going to have to like deal with people who might have boundary issues, or who might really push the limits. Okay. They know how to push limits. They know how to encroach upon, like they know what the rules are, but I feel like they like to push boundaries. And so you're going to need to be extra firm, but not mean. Okay. So you're going to need to be extra firm about this. And the best way to do this is, really reiterate, and explain to them why the rules are in place, and why it's not good for anybody to break these rules, because it can cause chaos. So I feel like you're enforcing rules and regulations in order to create stability in a work environment, or even in a home environment. So that energy looks really good. So Family. This is a card greatly about family, and I believe the Taurus people got this. When it shows up in the reverse position, it can also be like a dissolution when it comes to like a marriage, a family unit as well. Children, being bust between two different households. One household has zero structure and another household might be a little bit rigid. So this is a month where you and your partner or ex-spouse or whoever, that you share children with, you need to decide on a strict structure, or you need to at least, create like a foundation here for the children to thrive. So I feel a very strong element here about home and family. Okay. Work looks really, really good for many of you. If you're shifting from a main 9 to 5 gig to a self-employment gig, there's going to be so much prosperity coming through for you. And you have a lot of Gemini people have a lot of creative talents. You're a jack of all trades. You might have multiple things that you're dabbling in. And I feel like this is the month where things start to come to fruition, things bear fruit, and you're going to be sitting on a lot of financial prosperity. Okay. Do not neglect your household. I feel like the household needs to be kind of like run and manage with an iron fist. So take your time to really devote this energy back into the family so that you can create that stability. Okay.